Let's welcome to another video, that is diffusion process. Okay, we call it diffusion of innovation. So what exactly the diffusion process is? So the process by which the acceptance of an innovation is spread by communication to members of social system over a period of time, that is called diffusion process. So it's all about new innovation acceptance, okay, and communicating about it, okay, to the members of the social system over the period of time. So that is called diffusion process. Coming to the next, that is adoption process. So in this in adoption process, the stages through which an individual consumer passes in arriving to a decision or whether to adopt it or reject it, that is called adoption process, or continuing or discontinuing the usage, okay, whatever new product is coming into the market. So here we find five stages, okay, the traditional adoption process. That is, first is awareness, second is interest, then evaluation, trial, and adoption. So the first one, that is awareness stage. So here the individual is exposed to the innovation but lacks complete information about the product. He came to know that this type of product or service is in the market, but he's not having all information. So that is, the individual is aware about the innovation, but he is not yet motivated to seek further information. So he knows about the product existence. Coming to the next, that is the interest stage. So the individual becomes interested in the new idea and here seeks additional information about it. Once he know aware about it, if he get interest about the product or a service, he start taking new idea and additional information about it. So the innovation is favored in a general way, but is not yet judged in terms of its utility to a specific situation, how to be utilized. So he seeks further information. Then he moves to the third one, that is evaluation stage. So the individual applies his mental faculty to the innovation to compare present and anticipated situation, then decide whether to or not try it. So it is to do with careful weighing as to whether or not to try it. That is happens in evaluation stage. If then he will move to the another step, that is the trial stage. So the individual uses the innovation on small scale in order to determine its utility in his own situation, very small in number. So that is, he tries it once or twice to confirm its utility, whether to go for it or not. And then once he decided, then comes the adoption stage. So the individual decide to continue the full use of innovation, that is, he purchases and repurchases. So it is worth emphasizing here that any innovation may be rejected at any stage of adoption process, might be at you can say awareness stage, interest stage, evaluation stage, trial stage. Okay. Even rejection can take place after adoption, which is called as a discontinuance of the product or services. So further, a consumer may move through several these stages simultaneously, as it happens in case of impulse buying. Now, if you see what happens exactly, okay, in the process, so awareness, so consumer is first exposed to product, okay, innovation. For example, David sees an ad for a new digital camera in the newspaper. That is awareness he came to. Next is the interest. Consumer is interested in the product and search for additional information. So here David reads about the camera on the manufacturer's website and then goes to camera store near his office and has salesmen show him at the camera. The same thing you people also do when you are purchasing something. Next, evaluation stage. So consumer decide whether or not to believe that this product or service will satisfy the need, a kind of mental trial he goes for. So after talking with a knowledgeable friend, David decided that this camera should be able to provide him with the photos he needs to use in PowerPoint presentation. So he also likes the fact that it is used standard floppy disk form. Okay, and then comes the trial stage. So consumer uses the product on a limited basis. Since the camera cannot be tried, like a small bottle of new shampoo or cold drinks or something, so Davis buys the camera from a dealer offering a 14-day full refund policy. Okay, same thing happens in the nowadays online businesses also. So then comes the adoption. If trial is favorable, he is happy with it. Consumer decide to use the product on a full rather than limited basis. If unfavorable, the consumer decides to leave it or rejection. So here David finds that camera is easy to use and results are excellent. Then consequently, he keeps the digital camera with him. So this is how the adoption stages happen. Now coming to the adopters category. What are adopters? So sequence of categories that describe how early a consumer adopt or a new product in relation to other adopters. So there are 5 typical adopter categories are innovators, early adopters, early majority, late majority, and laggards. So let's see one by one. So if you see this, the percentage, okay, the first comes the innovators, then comes the early adopters, early majority, late majority, and laggards. So percentage of adopters by category sequence. Innovators are 2.5%. Early adopters will be 13.5. Once the early adopters have taken, then early majority will go for 34%. Once everything is evaluated, these people have used, everything is done, then comes the late majority. And the end, that is 16%. Those are called laggards. Now, innovators, who are they? These are 2.5% of the population. They are venturesome, very eager to try new ideas, acceptable if risk is daring one, more cosmopolite social relationship they are having, and communicates with the other innovators also. So these are called innovators. Coming to early adopters, there is a 13.5% of the population. They are very respected, more integrated into the local social system. The persons to check with before adopting a new idea. So category contains greatest number of opinion leaders are, and most of them are role models. Next comes the early majority. So here they are deliberate and adopt new ideas just prior to the average time. So seldom hold leadership positions and deliberate for some time before adopting the product or services. And after that comes the late majority. So they are always skeptical, adopt new ideas just after the average time. Okay, everyone has almost used it. So adapting may be both an economic necessity and a reaction to peer pressures. So innovations approach cautiously in this type of majority, so late majority. Next comes the laggards, okay, and they are traditional, the last people to adopt an innovations. Most localite in outlook, oriented to the past because they may check everything everyone has used, everything has given their output, and then they go for oriented to past, then suspicious of the new thing which are coming in the market. So these people are the laggards. These are the categories. Now, if you see what happens of all the thing, so if you see pre-existing problem or a need comes, in process, if you see evaluation process, there will be awareness, interest, evaluation, trial that we have already seen. So in this, there might be a rejection after the evaluation at any stage point of time, or discontinuation or rejection at any time. You can say after trial also it might happen, or evaluation or trial. If everything is success, adoption or rejection will happen. So once the adoption has happened, so after that, post adoption or post purchase evaluation comes to the picture. So here the two things will happen. One, the person will continue to purchase the product or use the product or refer the product, adoption or rejection. He might reject the product next time, or he will discontinuation of the usage of that particular product. So this happens in after post purchase evaluation.